Little Colorado. Little Colorado.
Yeah. I'm one of those guys that I have to name everything. My house, my car, my penis. Cheers.
Cheers.
Amarillo Rocks. This week we've got Elton Foley SHABLOYPES. What the hell is your real name?
It's just Elton Foley.
Okay. Yeah, as long as I've known you, I didn't really actually know what your real name was.
That whole SHABLOYPES thing is from a Key and Peele sketch where it's supposed to be like Middle Easterners, and like they've never like been with a woman, but every time they like see like a little bit of ankle, a little bit of face, they always say that
SHABLOYPES.
Yeah. So
well, that makes the joke. So every time I see you online, I say SHABLOYPES, and I actually didn't know that joke. So I think that's fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
It's always funny when some people know it too. It's like, from Key and Peele? I'm like, yeah.
Are you comfortable?
I feel pretty good.
Millions of viewers out there. Mr. SHABLOYPES is, he's in a couple of bands. He's a solo artist. He has a band called Dude Man, and another one called Dude Dashman. And I just, like, a light bulb went off the other day, and how creative that was, because Dude Man is, you guys have always put like a dash in the middle.
Yeah. And
then Dude Dashman, I was just like, that's fucking hilarious. So the difference...
Which is Landon started calling me that. I was walking the left force, Landon be like, Dude Dashman.
Dude Dashman.
And I was like, man, I really like that. And, just kind of figured I could use it to springboard stuff outside of Dude Man. It's not necessarily... I think it's like a sort of umbrella idea.
Yeah, that's...
Where I kind of work with Dude Man and with a lot of the other really talented players here in town.
So, what's the difference between the two bands? You guys do all completely different sets?
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
The songs that I'm doing in Dude Dashman, some of them are songs that I'm just writing on the fly, and then some of them are ideas that whenever Dude Man started, were just kind of either they kind of fell to the wayside, or some of them are just ideas, songs that I've had for a long time, man. I just never had a chance to do anything with them.
Yeah.
Now that I'm in a position to really be playing and doing it, like I'm recycling, finding ideas that I just never got a chance to do anything with, and also writing. So yeah, both bands have different songs
and different players, or is Dude Dashman just that? I know you got Fitch in that one, right?
Yeah, well, right now in Dude Dashman, there's me, there's Fitch, there's Moody, and there's Josh.
Josh, okay.
Adams.
Josh was in that one? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's playing bass in that, which is cool because we've been really wanting to play with each other for a while. But Dude Man is me, it's Nate, Tam, it's Moody, and Fitch. But with Dude Dashman, that's something that I'm on the tour with. I'm gonna bring in people. Hey, can you come in and do this? Or hey, I might want to go play drums on this. Or I want to mix that up some. But I also want to use it as a platform to kind of be the mad scientist where I'm in there just really
I tried that years ago with Loudmouth, and then. You ever heard the expression "herding cats"?
No.
So imagine you're a cowboy on a horse. You're the cowboy, and all of these band members are just cats out in the prairie, and you're on a fucking horse, and you're trying to get all these cats in the same place. Imagine the difficulty of that.
Yeah.
That's herding cats.
Okay. Herding. I said herding. I was like, man, why are you herding cats? You got so many of them.
You know better than that here, man. This is like a fucking cat sanctuary over here.
I'll try to be out political. It's like, no, never heard of it.
Never heard cats, kitties. The little murder monsters that they are. Anyway, so you've got Dude Man, Dude Dashman, a couple of different players. So how new is Dude Dashman? Because you've had Dude Man for 2-3 years now.
It's been a couple of years. Started Dude Man with Nate, Tam, and Michael Blackwell.
Shout out to Blackwell.
Shout out Blackwell.
Podcast alumni.
And, that was October 18.
It was before that. I was hanging out over there that summer.
Well, that's when we formed it, And then we first played on New Year's. We opened for Piles of Potential and Bachelor Sons 2019. So that was the first gig and since then it's just been going. So Dude Dashman really came about doing Burley's B&J shows.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time I was stepping outside of Dude Man and kind of playing by myself. And I wanted to turn that image into Dude Dashman, but I don't really want to be just a solo player just up there really playing by myself very often. It's not something that I'm just super into.
You've done a good job at it, though. I mean, I've seen a bunch of your stuff. I mean,
it's fun. I enjoy it. I love the one-man band stuff. Okay, so Dude Dashman also gave me a chance to do one-man band, but the thing about it is, me and Bro, we were roommates at the time, and I sang a couple songs. I was just singing songs. She was like, "Man, I want you to sing at my show." So I was like, "Hell yeah!" So I did that. And first, I started just singing, doing a few songs, and then one-man band. Now I'm up here kicking and banging drums and shit and playing, and got Dude Dashman and Moody Josh in there last time. So she said, there was a chance to evolve, get in there and evolve. That's what we're all trying to do. And I feel like I definitely used that as an opportunity to evolve because it gave me more chance to play, more chance to, just get used to that sort of stuff.
You still doing that?
Oh yeah. I've done that thing every month since I got on it. Yeah, it's been over a year.
You should get an old Samsonite suitcase and mount a little L bracket to it, and you can put a kick pedal on it.
Like Tehan.
Those guys do it.
Yeah, I was asking him about that actually when they were down here because I was just starting kind of one-man band thing, so I was looking at different people's setup, and I didn't realize that people sitting on these suitcases and playing dude, I love it. I think it's really cool.
They'll put like a tambourine on their foot, use that for your tempo.
That's what I do. I got the foot shakers and tamarins that I use too. Yeah.
Some of those guys use 2 foot. They'll set up a snare and they'll put just a regular beater on a snare and they'll kick snare like that too.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
I did the last B&J show. I've been doing I'll take that kick and I'll put I got tambourine, like a metal tambourine, so and I hit that tambourine while I play. So
I don't know where
you mess up anything,
No. I've got a very questionable shaker underneath here somewhere. It looks like a banana.
Yeah, I definitely. I want one of those hill ones too, man. The one that sit.
Yeah.
They sit in the hill, just to see what other kind of rhythm, what I kind of feel I'll get, playing with it.
You been playing music a long time?
No, started playing. I don't think I've been playing that long. I started playing like 2014.
Oh, really? Okay. And you got family, I guess, in Austin that are pretty musically inclined. Is that kind of where it started?
No. Growing up, no one around me really played, but my grandfather's a preacher, and so that I grew up watching him on stage, just like kind of work that crowd, however you want to phrase that. So I think somewhere deep down, I've been kind of like subconsciously building to it, just never really knowing exactly when I was gonna take off. So with playing, I started playing around 2014, teaching myself how to play and writing songs while I was doing it. That's why the Dude Man songs, I think, sound the way they do.
Yeah.
Because as I was writing them, I was teaching myself to play.
I dig that. You're pretty heavily influenced by Ty Segall.
Ty Segall, I love Ty Segall.
Yeah.
Michael, shout out to Ty Segall, Michael Cronin, John Dwyer, the OCs,
Smashing
Pumpkins, man.
I hear a lot of Billy Corgan in your voice when you're singing.
I've been told that by you before, but I've been told that by someone else recently. Like, you sound like Billy Corgan when you sing. It's like, thank you.
Billy's he's a reverend artist. He's got some weird little short scale guitar that's his signature model.
Yeah, I've seen.
I kind of want to get one.
I thought about getting one, man. They run for about $1,000.
Yeah. Mostly, yeah.
And I think it's got his style of Cause there's a certain way he likes the neck to be cut.
The neck profile, yeah.
So he can really get in there. So, yeah. Yeah, I think they look pretty cool too. I bet they sound great. You know, he's got his.
I'll give one. Shout out to Reverend Guitars, Ken.
Shout out to you guys.
Love my Railhammer sponsorship.
Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan's one of the first guys who really. I'm one of those kids, like, you know, 90s kids, like, I grew up reading lyrics and looking CD jackets and
Same
shit.
here.
You know, that stuff was cool. I collected that stuff and I was into it.
I never stopped doing that, you know. It's funny, I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of CDs. I can't make myself throw them away. I just love them too much, you know.
Yeah, I was one of those guys. I spent a lot of time reading and studying, kind of just, you know, enamored with his lyrics.
Yeah.
Enamored with like Jim Morrison's lyrics and his poetry. The beatnik poets. A lot of that stuff influenced like my writing. I think that's why like in my writing you don't see I'm not very straightforward, but I can kind of say what I need to say in a way that's just very influenced by like, I don't know, you know, finding ways to say it that kind of leave a lot of ambiguity there.
Right.
You know, it's like, you know.
Lyrics are...
Sometimes it's a little more straightforward, but, you know, sometimes it's like, it just...
The more fun lyrics have a lot of ambiguity because you spend a lot of time trying to read what you think you're trying to relate to your artist, your favorite artist. You're trying to get in their heads because you admire them and you want to understand their thought process when they wrote something down. Sometimes they are very direct. There are guys. Neil Fallon's one of my favorite lyricists, and everything he says sounds comes from a profound place of wisdom. But most of it doesn't make any fucking sense at all. I mean, you know, it's just a bunch of, sometimes it's word salad. You know, just
at the drive-in, man. I love at the drive-in for me as a teenager. Not only was the sound was mind-blowing, the live stuff was mind-blowing. The lyrics, Cedric's lyrics. Shout out to the guys from At the Drive-In. Cedric's lyrics are.
I think they're huge fans of the podcast.
Oh hell yeah, man! I love the way he writes. Yeah, I love a lot of that stuff, dude.
Yeah. What do you see? So, what's happening? Obviously, no one's playing any. Well, I don't know. I guess you've got shows. You got a show on the third, the second, something like that.
Dude Man's gonna play Marshall's Tavern again.
Shout out to those guys. Are you doing both bands?
Yeah, and Dude Dashman and the Moody Josh. So, Dude Dashman and the Moody Josh is gonna open for Dude Man.
So you flip a coin who headlines, or you just like, since you're in both bands, you're kind of the face of both bands. Do you like go in the bathroom and scream at yourself, you know, on which one's gonna be the headliner?
Dude Man's gonna close that. Okay. It's a Dude Man. It's a Dude Man thing, but for me, the fun is them pulling off both bands.
Right. Oh yeah.
And it's just gonna be a bunch of really cool music, original music. It's fun. It's high energy, and I think it gives people a chance to see the work that's still being done by, you know, some of us, you know, and I don't speak for everybody, but there's some people out there still putting in a lot of work and waiting for this shit to be over and, you know, ready to hit the ground running. You know?
Same here. So, yeah.
With you, it's cool that you guys are kind of at least getting recording stuff done. That's one of my frustrations with Dude Man and Dude Dashman, not having stuff, having any recording.
I should have recorded this album 3 years ago, and if you can find a studio that has the time, they either never had the money, or you know, there's just always some sort of imbalance in between trying to find the time and the money at the same time to do the recording. And all this shit happened, and as it turns out, Davey, my new guitar player, he had a full studio set up at his place, and I had a studio set up here, but his was better than mine. So we just drug his stuff over here and set it up, and we played around with it. We played with mic placement for like a month. Seriously, it took us a month to mic the drums right.
Yeah.
But our drum sound is killer. All the things that we're doing, when it's all said and done, if I were to do that in a studio, it would cost me $20,000. You know, I mean, just. But
I remember when you were kind of getting that thing going. Tell me you were kind of working out a lot of the kinks. And yeah, I can tell it's been a process trying to
It's a process.
get it all done.
But you know, eventually, we're here at RMF. We're going to do. I'm trying to get another rig. When we're done with this recording, Davey's going to take his rig back. I'm looking at getting a Tascam channel strip, 24 channel, nice rig, new Mac. You know, some Pro Tools. Basically the same setup, a little newer, and I'm going to try and do a community studio here.
Yeah.
So my friends and bands want to come in and record. Ran into budgeting possibilities. We'll help you put together an EP.
Yeah, that would be super helpful to a lot of people.
And kind of guide the landscape. It took me forever to figure out how to put music out, and kind of just help them navigate the landscape of actually putting music out, shopping aggregates, all that other stuff, finding out which one's going to be the best for you.
That could really change the scene too a lot, because when people have the ability to do it, to go in there and just do it,
Mm-hmm.
and you create another aspect of the scene where bands are just putting out songs and material and EPs, then that's gonna help bolster the scene. It's gonna help push a lot of people.
That's what happened in Seattle in the '90s.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Amarillo's, more than once, Amarillo's been called. It's been called Little Seattle. It's been called Little Nashville, just because we'd have a big red dirt movement come out of town. We'd have a big metal movement come out. Amarillo's got such a wide breadth of musical talents. We've got a ton of hip hop artists.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that until Zeus and Civic started booking shows at Lefties.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to get those guys on the show too. I've got Kane's going to be doing. Shout out to Kane.
Shout out to Kane.
Kane's going to be doing music reviews.
Curtis Grayson, a lot of those dudes are really good rappers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patty.
Patty's
Patty's going to be tracking on my album.
yeah, you told me about the new song Patty's gonna flow on.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be fun. But and that's my point, is that I'm so old that obviously I'm not going to do this forever. I want to be able to create something and hand it off, and I want to see other places do it. They were doing this at Animal Kingdom. They were helping bands create videos and recording all that other stuff, and COVID just kind of hosed everything down, man.
Yeah, it did. I think it gave our. I think leading up to COVID, we were getting ready to do the Mike Watts show, the Black Magic Power show. So we had like about 4 really big shows lined up. So we were already practicing really hard, getting ready for that. So at the time, I feel like, oh man, people are gonna get to see, Dude Man evolving, growing as a band, and so that didn't happen. But that time, what we had gained from that going into the pandemic, we took that stuff, and I think it really helped us spend that time together as a band with that new, with those newly acquired skills or whatever. And when we came in, like we started doing shows, like we've been doing shows at Marshalls and Zombies and places like that, the band just like kind of like, you can just see the growth. And a part of that is because you didn't get to see it leading up into what became, a bunch of cancellations and shit like that. So
I remember the last show we did at Leftwoods was Doomstress and 20 Watt Tombstone. Great show, metal as hell. And then those guys were trying to haul ass to Pampa the next day to get a show down there, and then they had cancellations up the road that just killed their whole tour. I mean, those guys barely made it home.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these bands, that's all they do.
Broke my heart to see. There was everything that was supposed to happen at South by Southwest. Jimmy was supposed to play South by.
Yeah.
And all that just fell through the cracks. There was so much good aspiring art that just got flattened.
And that's scary, man, because sometimes with bands you gotta think, man, this guy might have these problems or these issues. This guy's, maybe he has a family.
Yeah.
This guy, has got that, and the effort that it takes to get a group of people together to play music and get to the point where it's like, okay, we're putting it all on the line. We're going and we're gonna do South by, and we're hoping for this big thing. And then you take that and you say, man, we gotta wait until next year who knows what's gonna happen those next 12 months, man?
Yeah.
Who knows if that band's gonna stay?
We're not
together?
guaranteed tomorrow, much less trying to think in
just,
terms of that kind of long game,
Yeah, you just never know. It's just I feel bad for those bands because a lot of those bands are not gonna be bands next year.
No, I know a bunch of guys that have hell, one of my side projects kind of farted out, just because it did, everyone just.
That's one of the things that scares me the most, and it's one of the things that bothers me the most about whether or not, I've taken advantage of all the opportunities to play and really do it. Because sometimes I'm complacent, I'm lazy, but I don't know. But at the same time, it's that part of you too. It's like, man, I gotta, you gotta get it going. You gotta stay with it, and you gotta, really put forth the effort. So, yeah, I'm hoping with Dude, man. Who knows how shit's gonna go down, but I know for sure, even if it's just throwing out just some EPs, just some very garagey shit, just to get people,
dude,
listening to stuff.
What I'm hearing from a lot of bands, like Lindsay Lane, for example, they're putting out like a song every. Their album's been recorded for, I think, a freaking year now, and they just put out a single every 2-3 months from that album. And they're always going to be in the form of putting a new song out every couple months. It's already done, but they're booking shows off of it. They've got a steady stream going. It's kind of a cool model.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a little old school for that. So I've never done a full length album, so I'm going to go ahead and do a full length album. But
get it under your belt.
Yeah. Just get it under my belt. We're going to be releasing singles off, just so. What you should do? Do you have anything online yet?
I don't.
No.
Just what you see on social media.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Gotta get some stuff recorded. SoundCloud is a pretty powerful tool too, and SoundCloud's freaking free. Dude, there's so many careers that are built off of SoundCloud. Chance the Rapper, he won a freaking Grammy off of stuff he put on SoundCloud.
He saved SoundCloud, didn't he? Pump a lot of money back into it to save it.
They saved him. He saved them. Lil Nas X put Old Town Road out on SoundCloud. There's a bunch of electronic artists on SoundCloud. The death metal guys are on SoundCloud. I mean, there's a lot of underground music on SoundCloud that kind of, ebbs to the top just because it gets popular. It's catchy. It's kind of a great vaulting point. And Bandcamp. In fact, if I were to recommend you start anywhere, just record something, get it on Bandcamp. Because Bandcamp doesn't cost anything to operate. They give you so many downloads. They give you a friggin' website. Host your music off that. Yeah.
I know. I've seen some of the bands that are on it. I've never really. I guess I'm kind of old school in a lot of ways too. It's like, man, I'm that guys. I just want to play.
Yeah.
I just want to play. I don't want to really worry about, I'm getting more into that sort of thing, but I feel like everyone's kind of got a job and responsibility comes to that sort of thing, and the more you know, the better. I'm just the kind of person, just let me play and write songs
the
and
fun
sing.
thing you can do though is you get your stuff on Bandcamp. This is okay. Everybody watching, here's what you do. For all you young bands out there, get your music on Bandcamp, okay? And then you go to your local cell phone store like Verizon or AT&T, and you go to every device on there, and you put your Bandcamp right there on the browser page so that when someone's looking at a phone, first thing that pops up is your website and your music. That's an old school tip right there from your friend Loudmouth.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get that whole thing done and recorded. I hate to rush that with Dude, man. I'd rather throw out just a quick EP, like probably a Dashman EP, just to get my feet wet and say like, well, if these songs don't really, if this whole process doesn't go the way I want to, I didn't put songs that I really, really want to see, be successful at risk. I'd rather say like, this is just it's just a garage tune, it's a punk tune. It's just something that we play in the bars and the clubs and the shit to get people moving.
Not trying to de-emphasize Dude Dashman, but that's more of it's more fun than what you've been. Is that what you're saying? Is it looser?
It's a lot looser in the sense that I can just throw something to. At this point, I can just throw something together and feel like I feel good about it. But it doesn't have to have a lot of the. It doesn't have as much of a story behind it as a lot of those Dude Man songs. A lot of those Dude Man songs have been building for a long time. You know,
Right.
some of them are just a part of my just general, you know, understanding of the guitar and building that into something. So,
Let's talk about that for a second. So you're left-handed.
I'm
You're
left-handed.
southpaw. So as I'm looking at this guitar. Is that guitar strung upside down?
That guitar is strung. That's a right-hand guitar strung upside down. I got a couple that are righties, but they're strung upside down. And then I got a true bass.
Left-handed bass.
Yeah, really cool left-handed bass, and I have a
So,
less.
but your
Epiphone
style
style.
is you're strumming up though, because you've got your
No,
low.
it's restrung. The strings are flipped.
Oh,
so I can
okay.
play.
No, you're right. You're right. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of it this way. No, yeah, that's right. Ha!
Yeah, I flipped the strings. When the first time I touched a bass, I was playing it upside down.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I ended up restringing it. And then I just eventually got a left-handed bass.
Well,
And
there's
since
any
then,
right.
I've never really playing, like, even when I pick up someone's right-handed guitar, that's more of a novelty sort of thing. I'm just
Yeah.
kind of toying with it. I don't have any real intentions
You know, it's
of
funny
making
because
music
Fitch's
with it.
left-handed too, but Fitch plays right-handed.
Billy Corgan's left-handed.
Yeah, I didn't
He
know
plays
that.
right-handed.
Yeah,
They say when he asked his dad, what's the most popular way to play?
Yeah.
He said right-handed. So, learn how to play right-handed.
you know, I can play.
I've tried to play right-handed, but I think something about with me, because I'm a moving sort of player. I write a lot of music, it's kind of like groove, and I phrase vocally a lot of ways with the way I move and the way I play, where I hear the music. So it's a part of the way I move, and this just doesn't feel
Right.
natural to me. It just doesn't feel normal. So I have to. I mean, I play the way, but I'm a true lefty. I write left-handed. I do weird driving shit that people find uncomfortable.
And so what's
I'm
it
a
like?
true
What's
left-handed.
it like being an abomination by God?
Hey man, we're on a rise, man. Every time I look up now, it's like more and more people are left-handed. It
Yeah.
used to be like every now and then it's like, oh shit, you're left-handed too?
Yeah.
It's like now it's like everyone's left-handed, or it's starting to be.
Fucking Southpaws unite, right?
Yeah, come together, guys. I can't believe it's
Shout out to Jim Beam
still
Black.
so few of us, man.
You know,
Lefties.
there's I had a drummer in when I was in a high school band. He was ambidextrous, and when he would, because he came from Pampa and his drums were set up at my place, and so he would call us before we'd leave. It's like, hey, rearrange my drums, and he was really good. So we would go in there and just buck his drums up, move his hi-hat on the wrong side, put it in the middle, rearrange his crashes, you know, just put everything in a weird place. And he would show up, look around, and kind of get comfortable with it, and do every practice a completely different way. Guy was amazing.
Hell yeah.
Evan Jones. Shout out to Evan. I know he's on my Facebook list, but yeah, amazing guy.
I actually play the drums set up for a right-hander.
Yeah, the hat on the left, that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's set up the way a right-hander would play it. But what I find though is I play like into the drums. Like I play kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do some of the stuff that I think drummers do. Like I come across them and I play more into them, which I know is kind of odd because you're supposed to be doing like your roles a certain way, right? Yeah, I just play into them, but I think I play very dominantly left-handed style of playing. But set up for a right-handed person.
I don't know any of the rules on drums. I know how I want things to sound.
Yeah, I just look at them and just kind of play.
When I'm playing, I usually when I'm playing drums, it's followed not long after with Parlo going, "Get the fuck off my drums." So yeah.
After a while, I'm like that. So I was like, man, let me get up, man.
Yeah.
Let me get up. I've made you guys suffer enough.
I feel like I'm being all avant-garde and come up with this new awesome shit, and I listen to a real drummer like,
it's hard for me to stay steady on drums. Like, it's hard for me to just. Because I want to like do shit.
Therein lies the problem. Because the core element of the drums is to keep the freaking rhythm. You know that your tempo, and everybody wants to do fancy shit. Have you seen that? Have you seen that Danny Carey video of him? It's I guess Ludwig. I think it's Ludwig. They had all tight camera angles on him when they did a live recording of Numa. And have you ever seen a polyrhythm play?
Yeah, I've seen his videos that he does at these seminars and shit like that. Where he's playing with some kids and stuff. He's doing stuff like that. Yeah, I've seen it.
That dude is not human. There is no way that his legs are doing one, or this leg's doing one beat, his hi-hat's doing something else, this hand's doing something else, and this hand's doing something else. He's carrying 4 different rhythms at once. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah,
he's like the new Neil Peart,
These weird practices.
Rest in peace, Neil Peart.
Rest in peace, Neil. I know a lot of people. I've been seeing a lot of videos showing like just being able to control all your legs, doing different stuff. Which for me, I'm not trying to go that far with it. You know, it's like I can hold down a beat. I can do some basic playing. I guess I'm more concerned with guitar for now. But I do like to tour around bass, drums, guitar, a little key, stuff like that.
We there's a keyboard back there now. Davey brought it, in between sessions when Parlo was here.
Y'all been doing that on the album too? Well,
so we've got these interludes. The funny thing was, though, Parlo came in, looked around, what the fuck is that thing doing in here? It's like, we're a prog band now!
And didn't they do it with Van Halen when he wrote Jump or something?
Yeah, Eddie Van Halen did that shit.
What the fuck are you doing, man?
Yeah. Making Us Millions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to write some chintzy bullshit synth rhythm, and we're going to get checks for the rest of our lives on it. That's what I'm doing, Dave.
That's the way I always trips me out, dude.
I've seen a lot of drummers that are good at piano, like, because ultimately, really, piano's it's a weird instrument because it is a percussion instrument. Those hammers hitting the strings, there's a type of percussiveness to it. A percussive stringed instrument, even though it doesn't really keep. It's not like a backline instrument that keeps rhythm. It's percussion. So like Purdue, fantastic drummer. Another guy's not human, and he started getting into keyboard, and he just naturally just gravitated to drums. To keys from being a drummer. Whole of his music career, incredible. Most drummers that I know fucking kill. They absolutely kill on Guitar Hero because of the percussiveness. It's just the mechanics of it.
That's crazy that you say that because my cousin, who was an amazing drummer, he's been playing drums since he was like, I remember seeing him play drums when he was like 7.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7 years old, just a young kid. Karate, he's got that sort of mind. It's just a disciplined sort of, very mechanical sort of mind. And I never knew he could play, piano, keyboard. And one day he's just playing, and you can just tell it's just built into him. It's like, even the way he self-corrects, it's like, he'll be doing something very intricate, and if it's off, his hands automatically just kind of fix it, just very quickly, and I was always just really impressed by that. It's and it's crazy that you say that because he was a drummer, and he shifted to piano, and now he can play that thing like crazy. It's for him playing, I said, he'll switch and half of the keyboard will be horns, half of it will be this.
Yeah.
He's switching over and he's doing stuff his mind works like that,
There's something in that frontal lobe, the parietal lobe, whatever it is that.
Shout out to my cousin too, Michael Shaw.
What's his name?
Michael Shaw. He changed the way I play. When I started when he started
Is that the
hanging
dude that
out
had all
with me,
that funk and stuff that you had those recordings? I
yeah,
still got
yeah,
those on my
yeah,
computer.
yeah, yeah, it's my cousin.
That guy was really good.
Man, when I started playing, I gotta emphasize that when I started, he started coming over to the house playing because I gotta get a band started. I want to start a band, and he came over and I would play, and it's just me, just very sappy sort of playing, nothing there really, just very lethargic, very mundane, and he would just be like, no. And then I just kind of like have to, okay. And then like he'd come over and like we play, and like he just take over. He just take it over, and eventually what that did is it almost ingrained it in me to hear the groove. So now when I write, I can already hear that. So that's why I think a lot of the Dude Man songs they go over well live because there's a sense of groove and upbeatness all the time.
You know, a lot of guys that I talk to that are
because of him, I think,
professional recording artists, they usually start their writing process. I'd say 75% of it starts with the drums, even though they may have a riff or a lyrical idea, something like that. But recording, from what I've seen, always starts with the drums, and that's it's the hardest thing to capture. Digital music has kind of given a misguided view on creating drums and drum music, because these guys can, if they have the time and tenacity, you can program all this shit in.
Yeah.
They know how to separate the stuff in bars, make it perfectly quantized, and and they'll create a track where the drums are absolutely perfect all the way through.
Yeah.
So I know that this is where this has gone now, is that there are guys that go so far as like if they're writing demos, they'll create a drum track, and then they'll go in and just create little, just slight tempo variations to make it sound human.
Yeah.
And that's weird. That's a weird type of. It's not de-evolution. I guess it's just. It's digitally putting the human element back in. We've listened to digital music for such a long time with these perfect beats and perfect rhythms, and I don't know. I guess it leaves a bad taste in some people's mouth, and so they're trying to build that normal element. We record to a click. We don't always follow a click, but we certainly have a click.
Yeah.
And we do our best to keep up with it. But it's those nuances to me that make a song intrinsic, make it pure. Make it feel. That's where your feeling comes from, is the imperfections.
Yeah, I try to be mindful of that whole thing by using the click tracks and all that. Mm-hmm. I like the natural rawness of playing. I even enjoy the times where it's like someone like kind of does something on stage and everyone kind of looks at each other and smiles.
Yeah.
And keeps going. Like when we first started playing, that shit wrecked my nerves. It's like I was so nervous. Like our first shows, I was so nervous, just standing there, just like afraid, like don't want to mess up. If someone messed up, I probably had a heart attack. And to see now, it's like we're playing. I hit a wrong chord. Oh shit! I just go back to the right chord. Or, if someone misses something, it's like, man, we just literally kind of we're up there on stage, and it's like it's not lost on us that we're up here to have fun. That this is fun. And I kind of enjoy that too. I like nailing it. I love when you just nail it and everyone knows you nailed it. But I do like the camaraderie and the sort of thing that goes.
Yeah.
The playing and shit, bump into your mic. Oh shit! I knocked my mic over.
You shouldn't forget
regroup.
the fact that this is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be fun. I go back and listen to some old live recordings and listen to some of the stuff. I'm like,
some of the other stuff's hard to listen.
And then I go, and then kind of laugh it off. That's funny.
I hate looking at myself at our first shows because I just look like I look like a scared, helpless child who was bold enough to get up on stage and say, fuck it, I'm going to try this. But, I felt like that. And now it's like I feel really good about it. I'll show up to the venue and shit and be talking, hanging out. And, oh, shit, it's time going. And just go on. When we started, I would kind of be in the bag maybe, making sure I know this part and all that shit,
There are guys
which
that
is
still
cool,
like that, man.
Which is cool, but, man, I'm having fun with it, and then the thing
You
that
guys,
I really
do you guys
like
warm
to
up before a show? Do you warm up a little bit before you play?
not really like we do sound check, but I mean we're one of those bands kind of like how you guys we actually get together and we practice very often,
Yeah.
and it'll be a Saturday night, no one's really doing shit. Let's go to the jam space,
Yeah.
and we may stay down there till 3, 4 in the morning. You know, a lot of playing
Nice.
and just hanging out and shit and just
You
being
guys practicing
friends.
that?
We got a jam space down on 3rd Street, the warehouse area over
Oh,
there.
really? Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
yeah, we'll go down there and we'll stay down there till 3, 4 in the morning sometimes.
Dude,
Playing,
you should get
jamming, and
get one of these, like this little camera. Dude, that's a Zoom. That's a Q2N. It's not even the 4K. Like the 4K ones, it's about $250. This is this Zoom Q2N.
I like this. Still like the quality.
It just
though.
does.
Really good.
It's just regular 1080 camera. It's not like a GoPro, you can't get it wet, but it's got a really nice onboard mic. I'm not using the mic. I'm using my mixer right now for audio. Mm-hmm. But get one of those and just stick it in your practice place. This thing is designed for live practices and rehearsals. And just put it on a stand, stick it in the corner, and just let it capture the room. And you never know
We've
what
done
kind
it
of...
with phones. We hadn't really done anything really cool.
Phones,
like this.
not quite the same. The recording, the microphone element of phone is a little bit tiny, so it's not going to give you the frequency response. Like this thing will get all the low end and high end. It's not going to cut out. It gives you gain control. So when you're recording stuff like that, man,
you can get good quality stuff out of this thing.
Yes,
yeah.
You just stick it in the room. There's another Zoom has another thing called a Spire, and Spire is really cool. It's good for independent art, and it's just this little cube you control with your iPhone, and you can bounce tracks. It's got a little built-in mixer. It's really freaking cool. There's so much cool stuff that you can do with inexpensive equipment now, man. Everything's been revolutionized. It used to be so hard to get a recording in. I remember, God, years ago we bought not this band but another one I was in. We bought a freaking like a 3/4 inch or half inch reel-to-reel tape. Super excited about the reel-to-reel. It's not going to get the Spectrum, but I mean, it was an actual reel tape recorder, and ran. Hooked all. It was a 8-channel. Hooked our mics up to it, and we actually used it. It was so cool. Drew had one in his studio for a little bit too.
Yeah, I was splicing and taping all that stuff.
Splicing was so fucking hard.
Yeah, I was like, shit, man, that's a lost art.
Yeah.
My understanding of it these days is like it's hard. You'd be hard pressed to find someone who, or a lot of people who still know how to really do it very well.
There are guys that do it, and there are guys that swear by it. I can't remember that kid's name. I met this recording guy at Lit this last. Oh shit! It's been 6 months, longer than that, and he was a front of house guy for. I can't remember the guy's name now. He was super cool. But he said they're dragging around a 2-inch the Sony reel-to-reel, and they're recording. They're getting a board recording to reel on all their live shows, and they're making a live album off of a 2-inch reel. And they're like, look, you know how to splice.
Eddie Vedder was doing that, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Excuse me. Eddie Vedder was doing shows where he had a reel-to-reel up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he was doing them with Prudgem. I think he was doing them like around that time of Mystic River or Into the Wild or whatever that
what the fuck is
stuff
this
he
name?
did.
His name's like Bones. It's I can't remember. He had Bones in his name. The young guy. He had like a couple of hits, and then everything took off. Damn it! This is gonna drive me nuts. Sorry, YouTube. Sorry, I can't remember his name. And I'm viciously out of the loop of modern music because most of the shit sounds the same to me. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Anyway, but the whole concept of splicing was we did that. My band in high school, we actually did a digital recording, and that was a long time ago. August had this. He had a great big Bose Porta Studio. This thing was massive. It had Bose speakers on it. This thing had to have been $5,000 back then. It had a DAT tape, and you plugged a bunch of mics in. I think you could plug like 6 mics in it, and we did live recording on this thing, and it recorded straight to DAT, which at the time DAT was just digital audio. It was tape, but it was a digital. It was putting zeros and ones on tape.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he mixed. He took it home, mixed it, and put it out. It was I had a band called Plunger Accident. I'll let you dwell on that in your own time. But
okay.
we actually did among the first digital recordings. That was in, God, 91, 92, somewhere in there. It's a crazy thought.
You've been watching a lot of this cool technology, kind of. I mean, it's, as far as being an active player, being able to see it, progress.
I've seen a lot of, man, trying to navigate that landscape is there are guys that claim that they know everything about it, and if they do, God bless them, but I think they're full of shit. It's because there is just so much information to take in.
Yeah.
You basically, you got to think about what the ultimate outcome you're shooting for is someone's going to have 2 speakers in front of them or 2 speakers attached to their head, and you're going to try to make the best sounds you can come into their brain. That's it. And so you can pontificate over the meandering processes that go into that, and you can lose a lot just by dwelling over the details. You can lose a lot of soul in it.
Yeah.
Man, think about that. Like
that's my thing too, man. That's been a part of so I've sat in and I've done some recording, but it's been recording like at Josh's his home studio.
Yeah.
Something about the process of recording bores the fuck out of me. Like when the music stops and it's like the tweaking and this starts happening, I'm just like, some part of it I like and I appreciate it. Like for instance,
you're one of those guys that stiffens up as soon as you know the red button's on, like that red light flashing right there. It's taken me a while to get used to ignoring it. Mm-hmm. Knowing that you're recording, like you're all of a sudden you second guess all your movements. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And live is live. You fuck up, you move on. Recording, you do have the opportunity to go back and fix it, and so you're trying to, to posture yourself in such a way that you don't have to do that for whatever psychological validation that feeds you, but you have to.
The momentum of it keeps swinging, like when you're in there trying to record tracks and you gotta stop, you gotta do this and you gotta stop,
man.
And a part of me is like, I don't know, some part of me I feel like even with doing songs, maybe especially like with singing the song, if I'm going in there to record and sing that song, I feel like I'm gonna get that song done very few takes. It's not gonna be one of those things like you hear about these classic studio sessions where 40 takes trying to sing this song. I mean,
yeah, there are guys that do that. Parlo, loud
maybe
drummer.
Whitney Houston, someone's trying to really nail it. Or Celine Dion. It's like I'm not that. So
yeah. Parlo can
take that long.
Everything that we do with him, he can get nailed within 2 or 3 takes.
Yeah.
I mean, like start to finish, every hit is where it's supposed to be, and it's at the same level it's supposed to be. And I fucking hate that because I like giving him so much shit, but he's actually really good at that.
It's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm going to lunch.
Yeah. No, let's listen to it again. God damn it. All right.
I mean, I know there's some part of it that's really cool that I know I do like, but I think right now my energy is just not there. My energy is more with playing, doing like live shows, playing, and just going to the band with the song. Like, hey man, I got the song, everyone learns it, we're jamming it, and almost being able to just, I'm kind of having that
like
sense
that,
of urgency to do the song and to move on.
That feeling,
not harp,
that feeling when you get through it and it didn't just catastrophically fall apart, and you're like, all right, that was pretty good. Might have sounded like train shit, but it, getting through it.
Yeah.
You almost build a vibe from the outside in, and it's that chewy center that you really have to kind of get comfortable with.
Yeah.
It is tricky. you know, in the recording environment, you know, it's hard to prove yourself in that because you can go back and fix things.
Some ideas I won't touch if it's not time. Like the song that I brought to you, and you just started doing these. Remember, we were doing these really cool embellishments on it, and I was like, that's what this thing needs. That's what it's been needing, and it sounds so good and it's so perfect to me. It's like, if I can't do it like that, I'll wait.
Yeah,
I'll just wait. And I hadn't messed with it, you know. I just been kind of sitting because when I do it, you know, we've all had a lot going on. I know you've had a lot going on lately and shit. So it's like when it's time, when it's time, when to do it. But I feel like that time is fast approaching. This whole COVID thing, it slowed some things down. But in a lot of ways, for me, I feel like it accelerated some things because I got a lot of music done during this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of songs written, so.
Well, tell you what, guys, we're going to take a quick break, refill our cocktails, and Mr. Elton here is going to play a couple of songs for you.
It's intermission. Rise and stretch time.
We starting now?
Yeah.
This is a song called Seashell.
I follow my face all the time. I crawl in my space. I don't mind at all. It treats me well. My sea shell, yeah, yeah. I live the wrong way all the time. I crawl in my space. I don't mind at all. I'm in my seashell, can't you tell? 'Cause I can't tell, no, no, and I don't mind at all, no. I'm in my seashell, can't you tell? No, no, 'cause I can't tell, no, no. I don't sleep well. There's a constant wind, so I don't sleep that well. I don't. There's a constant wind, so I don't sleep that well. No, no.
relaxed. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for this week. Tell me, so you got a show when?
We play October 2nd at Marshall's Tavern, Southwest 6th Street. It's the old Austin's Pub.
Austin's Pub, a.k.a. Bangers. You know, that was the first bar I ever played in.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Hell yeah.
I was like fucking...
I like playing there too, man.
Oh, dude, I was like 14 years old. I had a fake ID. It was one that I had found, and this cat named Benji that was running the place.
Just found it, just like, here, this is me, man.
So I'm a 14-year-old long-haired kid, you know, ginger as fuck, long red hair, playing in a shitty band. And he finally, after we played there a few times, he's like, "Man, how old are you?" I was like, "Can I see your ID?" And I'm like, "Sure." So when I was going to Sam Houston, that's when I was in fucking middle school when I was a big kid, and I had an ID, an expired driver's license of at the time, like a 77-year-old black guy. I can't remember. I think his name was Samuel.
He's like, your name's Jerome.
Yeah. And I showed him that, and he looked at it. He looked at me and went, "Whatever." Because at the time, they weren't as harsh about their IDs as they are now.
Yeah, back then, I imagine you could get away with that shit.
I got away with it a little bit. Sorry, Benji. You're still alive. Anyway.
That's hilarious.
Well, man, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to finally, we've talked about this for months and months, and, finally came to fruition.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it. I'm glad I got a chance to do it, man.
It'll take me a couple of days to edit, and, we'll get all that stuff out. Well, stay tuned. Amarillo Rocks. We're going to have much more content, kind of coming out of my coffin, and we're going to be, bringing you more local art and talent, and hopefully, we can keep this scene alive. So y'all hang loose and have fun.